Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Doctor Why podcast, the after show where Bam and Chris review the episode of Doctor Who. We've been gone for quite a while. We've also made a channel for the podcast and anything Doctor Who in the future. That's right, we're going to be making Doctor Who content. Whoa! So that means predictions. That means reactions. That means
it's a very novel idea. I don't think anyone else has ever done this on YouTube before.
Exactly. We are the cutting edge.
We're innovators.
Exactly. Just a quick little opinion of the Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road. What did you think of that one?
I think it was a good start. I think it was a strong start to this new era. It was very kind of Christmas invasion, I'd say, very kind of, this is the start of something new, as opposed to something along the lines of, like sometimes you'd have the new start be at the start of the series, but to have it on a Christmas special, it worked because of the context. It would have been quite strange to have, something filler. And it was a good episode. We got to see the Doctor in action and Ruby in action, and they have the makings of a good pair. I should say, if I'm just talking about that episode on its own. The stuff with the space babies was interesting. The stuff with Lulubelle was interesting. Your opinion on the episode is going to be kind of tainted on that one way or the other, but in terms of from a character perspective, it was a really strong start for this, new cast of characters.
My opinion of Church of Ruby Road, I really liked it. One, because after the long trials and tribulations we had with the Tribunal era, which is very well documented because it caused this whole thing to start, is us wanting to write about the Tribunal era. And the first thing that was very prevalent to me is character work from the get-go, and the mystery boxes, and the teasing, and the cause for speculation. And the main thing I talk about that is Mrs. Flood. Because the moment when the episode ended, and she was like, "You've never seen a TARDIS before," I literally went, "What?" I was legitimately shocked. I was like, "Who is this person? Why did they break the fourth wall? I don't understand. I'm so confused. I want to know more." And then speculations coming out like she's the Rani. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then speculations coming like she's part of the Tormek's Legion probably. And it's like, "Oh my god, I don't know what it is. There's so many things it could be." Like there's a mystery and there's also character.
Do you have a theory currently on who she is? Do you have a theory?
No, and I like that.
No,
I have no idea who she is.
Well, because I do, and I thought it'd be interesting to share it, because I rewatched the episode a couple of days ago, so it was fresh in my mind. And what I noticed was that at one point, she said the phrase "before the flood," and I started thinking, who was in that two-parter before the flood, who would be in a position to be there on that street. And then I started looking at what she was wearing, and she was wearing the same clothes that Clara normally wears. So I think she might be Clara. Plus Stephen Moffat's back, and he just loves doing stuff with Clara.
I don't think she's Clara. If it was Clara, I would actually just the light in my heart would die. I think Clara's whole story's done. I don't think we should bring back Clara. I don't think.
Oh, I agree. I
don't think Davies would bring back someone so prevalent in someone else's era. Space Baby starts instantly with the intro. There's no cold open for Space Babies.
No.
Which felt weird. I feel like Doctor Who feels a lot better when it has a cold open to kind of give you an understanding of the tone of the episode and like get you hooked. If you just see the little Doctor Who thing, you go, oh, okay. I'll go watch Strictly Come Dancing or some shit. I don't fucking know. Um, but for me, the cold open not being there, kind of eh. But what I really did like is that they fixed the intro. No longer
Yeah,
do
they
we have
did.
the weird spinning Doctor Who logo come out,
Yeah.
and the TARDIS looking like a PowerPoint presentation. Like, they actually fixed it, and I'll give them props. They actually
I
fixed it.
still think it looks a lot like a YouTuber's kind of interpretation of it. Like the fact that it is now very kind of I don't want to say CGI heavy because I'm sure it was anyway, but if it like it feels like we're kind of using modern day effects and taking advantage of them, showing space, showing showing the time vortex all together and moving around and all the things you can do nowadays. It feels like what people were doing on YouTube 10 years ago.
I like it. I've always, I've
No,
always,
I like it. Yeah.
I've always felt Doctor Who. The reason some people can't get into it is because a lot of the effects are just pretty hokey.
Mm, mm.
And we'll get into Space Babies and its monster because I think its monster is really cool looking. Even though I don't really like the concept of the monster, I feel like the end of the episode was a bit rushed.
Yeah.
But I really like. I've never had an issue really. We'll get to one issue with the effects in the episodes. I think the special effects in the episode, well, the visual effects in the episodes are great. Doctor Who's always been great with special effects. They've always tried to use as many real assets as possible.
Yeah.
But visual effects are very good.
Yeah.
It just look fantastic now. So I'm very happy with how Doctor Who currently looks.
And I like that they're proving the special effects in Unleashed as well. Like they actually go through. Here's what we're actually doing to prove that they're using top quality equipment.
But yes, we come into this episode. It is Space Babies, written by Russell T Davies, and it starts off literally where the Church on Ruby Road ended, with Ruby Sunday walking into the TARDIS, and it's like, "Who are you?" And it's like, "I'm the Doctor." I can't do Shooty's accent because she's accent so unique.
No, it is.
But Millie's was literally like, Millie was literally like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm the Doctor." And then it goes really in, and it goes straight away into a lore dump for people who are new to the show about who the Doctor is, where he's from, what's the shit he's been through the last 50 fucking series, or like 40 series, and seasons, and catching them up as quick as possible. So the Doctor's like, "I'm called a Doctor." He was like, "Oh, they call you Doctor." It's like, "Well, I'm from a place called Gallifrey. I was adopted, and they were kind of posh, and they all used titles like the Doctor, like the Rani, the Bishop." They name dropped the Rani, the Conquistador.
Yeah.
They should have said the meddling monk.
They should have. They should have.
The Doctor's like, "Cool. I'm the Doctor." She's like, "Okay, Doctor, parking that time machine, parking that." And he talks about the chameleon circuit, how it's the skies, so on. They're just continuing this lore dump, talking about how he dropped in 1963. More lore dumps.
I loved the lore dump. I just loved how like fast paced it was, and I was just like, I was just like being reminded of so much that had happened. I was like, yeah, this is why I love Doctor Who. I'm remembering all of these great episodes.
And there's a moment where he mentions Gallifrey, and we was like, "Gallifrey, can we go there?" And the Doctor's like, "No, it's gone." And I don't know if you noticed, because I'm always the one who notices the music here. They played "This Is Gallifrey" in the background. And I'm then seeing like, "Oh, Murray Gold! He's back!"
What I noticed about that was it felt very series 1. Like it was like, Gallifrey used to exist, but now since the show's being rebooted, we're saying that Gallifrey's gone. And I know it's all to do with the flux. That's
no,
why,
it's to do with the Master. Remember the Master destroyed Gallifrey.
So do with the Master, but then the flux would have done it anyway. So it's all to do with like Chibnall stuff. It's all contextual. but it did feel very series one. It did feel very much back to the end of the world, where Christopher Eccleston saying, my planet's gone.
We continue into the episode, and as we continue into the episode, the Doctor asks Ruby. Oh no, the Doctor tries to prove to Ruby that it's a time machine. So he goes 150 million years in the past to see some dinosaurs. Ruby steps out. She's absolutely stunned. She's like, "Oh my god!" The Doctor explains what TARDIS means: time and relative dimensions in space, and shows that he also moved location to a place where would become Wyoming. And as Ruby's looking around, completely stunned, she steps on a butterfly and turns into Ruby from Blue. So this is interesting to me because we know from previous Doctor Who that the TARDIS fights paradoxes. Because when the Doctor first went into the past with Martha Jones, Martha was concerned about something similar like this happening, and the Doctor said, "Don't need to worry, because the TARDIS kind of deals with paradoxes. It fixes the stuff." So I'm coming to think, because also at the end of this, when the Doctor fixes and turns Ruby back to Ruby, he has a weird look before entering this house, like, "Oh, that was not meant to happen," you know?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think, if with one of the because obviously they're trying to reset the rules of time travel in this with the reset, and they kind of explain it as being the toy maker being brought back into the universe has changed up the universe in multiple ways. The toy maker is this knockoff effect that's changed the universe over and over, and with that the rules of time has probably changed as well. So paradoxes have a possibility to change time actively is interesting. It makes it means Doctor Who has a new rule set, which also means that it's harder to do time changing stories because, well, paradoxes now happen. But it also could mean, because we do know that throughout the series, the TARDIS will be having issues. Because that has been a thread through at least this and Wild Beyonder. That was called Wild Beyonder. There's an issue, there's something happening with the TARDIS. I mean, no, later in the season, there's going to be a problem with the TARDIS. Because there's an episode seemingly based on the TARDIS.
Because Shooty's technically got a new TARDIS, but it's identical to the old one. So it still has the problems with the old one. I mean, it's still got the communion circuit that's broken. So,
well, it's technically like I would imagine
it's the same one.
Yeah, I imagine it as like a bi-generation of TARDISes. That's what I imagine it as. So Shooty's one's a future TARDIS, which is why it has a jukebox in it. And the one that Tennant's left with is an old TARDIS. But we'll see where it goes. But there's something, an issue with the TARDIS. And we also know there's going to be an episode where the TARDIS dies. Because we've seen in the trailers with the image of the desaturated TARDIS is all kind of like on a hillside, and Ruby's looking at it like, "Oh, the TARDIS is dead." So we know something's going to happen with the TARDIS.
I didn't watch trailer 2. You just told me.
Well, we don't. That's what we assume is going to happen. From that, and that's interesting. But no, paradoxes. She steps on the butterfly and turns into Ruby from Blue. And she's just kind of like lizardy creature thing. She looks cool.
She's a Silurian.
Well, no, she's not a Silurian.
Well, I mean, surely, because I think the idea is that it's like stepping on that butterfly led to like humans and Silurians merging.
No, because if she's Silurian, she'll probably mention that she's a Silurian, and also
she looks exactly like a Silurian.
And in Unleashed, they said that they are looking reptilian, but they're not Silurians. They specifically
okay. If they said it in Unleashed, then that's fine.
Because she has feathers, stuff like that.
Like how if in the commentary for Miller, if I just say something random, it automatically means it's true. You can always trust behind the scenes. Totally.
Anyways, as we continue going forward, the Doctor kind of fixes by what I'm assuming is blowing life back into this butterfly. Don't know how he did it. Regeneration energy, maybe. No idea. I don't know. I think that was kind of lazy, kind of kind of like, oh, he just blows it back to life. No, 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 no. You could have had a whole episode about that. Oh, the
I
Doctor.
mean, yeah, we could have.
That could have been
Yeah,
that could have been that could have been episode of Space Babies. Fucking hell.
yeah.
Like, but no.
Or even we could have had 13 episodes like the old days. You know, where's all the episodes, Russell? I want the episodes back.
We get back into the TARDIS. The Doctor asks for a date to show because I want to go to the future. And the Doctor last time Ruby gives 5 numbers instead of 4, so they go pretty far into the future. You see the TARDIS flying through the time vortex, and I think I've never seen this shot ever before in Doctor Who, where the TARDIS falls out of the vortex and then continues spinning towards the location.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a nice
I think
shot.
I've seen it a couple of times, but it was unique.
And then one thing that I really like is that they don't have the TARDIS just materialize all the time. Like when the TARDIS lands on the ship, it spins in the ship. Like it kind of like spins while it's materializing and then lands. And it kind of shows the TARDIS. It kind of it's obviously showing the bigger budget, but it's showing the TARDIS is moving as it's materializing sometimes.
Yeah.
So they come out on the spaceship. They are in the underground, like, floors of this area. The Doctor's saying that the ship is ready to explode. Something's very, very wrong with this place. And then eventually, this monster from down the corridor is just coming down, scary, looking eerie. The Doctor's like, oh, Ruby's like, it's a monster. The Doctor's like, there's no such thing as monsters. It's just creatures we've not met yet. Then it roars, and the Doctor is fucking terrified. He and Ruby run. And they eventually find like a little elevator going up towards another part of the ship, where the Doctor questions, why was that so scary? It shouldn't, he shouldn't be running. He doesn't run. Like, he's not scared.
No.
Like, he never really is scared about things. Like, why is it scary? That's new. That's a new feeling currently.
Yeah.
So as he's trying to figure this out, they end up finding they're in a baby farm. And as they're going through this baby farm, confused about what the hell this baby farm's for, the Doctor decides to show Ruby space, Earth. Calling back to that very first time the Doctor took Rose out into the space station. Very similar-esque. And we get another lore dump with the not the lore dump. We first had the Doctor talking about why he travels. It's to see moments like this through his companion's eyes. Because he's kind of seen practically everything, and also the universe is basically like wiped out. Don't forget the flux exists. So a lot of the universe is wiped out, so there's less things to see. So he wants to see it with new people through their eyes. They kind of get that fresh experience. And as that's happening, the Doctor kind of shows the planet Pacifico del Rio. And Ruby is looking at the bit the bit on the screen saying Mavity, saying population.
Yeah.
Yes, it still says Mavity. That's
still
says
thing. Mavity.
That's still a thing.
I love it.
But yeah, Mavity, population, and Ruby's like, oh, that's English. And the Doctor explains, no, that's the perception filter, changing everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and we finally for once, other than with the episode with the devil in it, get a visual representation of, or when Riversong's name was translated, get a visual representation of the what's it called? Why is that? It's the perception filter. Thank you. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor kind of swipes it, and you see that there's this like mixed match of languages, as the Doctor describes, kind of like what's it called? Kind of like Cantonese.
Yeah, kind of like Cantonese. Yeah.
Humans at that point speak a mismatch of languages, and I think that's pretty cool. But
I think it makes sense. The thing is, the Doctor says that like he talks about how like the human race went into the stars and stuff, and the way that he's describing it is very series 1. It's like the same. It's like the thing that like Harriet Jones was leading. But the thing is, that timeline was changed because the Doctor removed Harriet Jones from the situation, so it doesn't make sense that it would be the same. Sure, the human race can go into the stars, but it couldn't be the same cause, the same kind of build up to that. It would be more like Waters of Mars.
The Doctor updates Ruby's phone, kind of like they did with Rose and Martha. And they kind of look around, and eventually, one of the space babies comes in. Oh. And this is Eric. Eric is reporting to Birth Zone 6. He's getting a bunch of temperature fluctuations. And as he looks around, he looks and sees the Doctor and Ruby. And he's like, Mummy? Daddy? Mummy and Daddy are here. Oh, I got to tell the others. And he's walking around to go tell the others that Mummy and Daddy's here. And as you go down the corridor, it looks like a pediatric ward. With a lot of these scribblings and drawings on the walls. What did you think, Chris, about the mouth movements for the babies?
Oh, they were disgusting.
Because it's very obvious that the babies' real facial reactions were not what they wanted for that scene.
No.
The only baby which did good was Poppy. But she actually showed facial expressions and was smiling and being happy and being scared. Every other baby looked bored out their fucking mind. And then they have these mouths saying the other words. So there's one where Eric is like, there's one where Eric is like, that's not a doggo, that's the bogeyman. And the baby just does not care, but the mouth is trying to be all scared. It's like, so it just looks really weird.
It's like the whole face is like the forehead as well, and like the cheeks, and it's like you're just like manipulating the baby's face in post.
It
is just disgusting.
It's weird. That's not a doggo. That's the bogeyman.
I put in my notes, baby dubbing is a sin. Russell must go to hell.
But as they're here, the Doctor kind of gets shown how the babies are working and living. Because they've made these contraptions that are used to control the ship, but they don't know what they do. They've just been told by Nan E every so often to do these things, like to blow their nose, to change their nappies, to push the buttons, to pull the levers. Keep the place working. So the Doctor is still confused. Why the that goddamn monster in the basement is so scary. And he has a little conversation with the captain. Also, if you ever want a drinking game in this episode, drink every time Shooty Gatwa's Doctor says space babies, because he says it all the time.
He says it all the time.
He just goes, space baby, space baby, space baby, space babies. I'm like, brother,
every time Ruby, and you said Millie, every time Ruby says babies, he will just say space babies.
But yeah, no, the Doctor talks to Poppy, the captain, and just Poppy questions, are we wrong? Because they've lived here for multiple years. They should be grown up, but they're still babies. So she's like, are we wrong? And that's this nice speech. Which for me is like one of many of Shooty's Doctor moments, because he's already had many Doctor moments, which is weird to me. Because they're just giving him it like it's free. Like, just here's a Doctor moment, here's a Doctor, here's a Doctor, here's a Doctor, here's a Doctor moment. Whereas we had...
It's like, where were they with Jodie?
Exactly, Jodie had half a Doctor moment.
Yeah, one time.
That was the coolest she's ever been. But it was the coolest she's ever been. And I was like, Shooty's getting this moment where he's with Captain Poppy. And Captain Poppy's like, are we wrong? And Shooty's like, no. You're not wrong. You're unique. And he explains a story about himself. He explains a story about how it doesn't matter where you came from. You're absolutely lovely. He doesn't know where he's from. He was adopted. But to him, he's the most. He's the only thing like himself in the entire universe. Which is obviously he's the only because he's not a Gallifreyan. He's not a Time Lord. He's what preceded the Time Lords. He's from another universe. And my theory, I actually have a theory what the Doctor is.
Oh, go on.
Because I don't have a theory what Ruby is, which is why I'm very interested in what Ruby is. But I have a theory that the Doctor is part of the Pantheon. and he is Lord Time.
Oh, the
So
Pantheon of Discord.
so you have the Trickster, who is part of the Pantheon that was revealed in Sarah Jane Adventures. And they refer, and I don't know if it's the same Pantheon, but in my head, I'm going to assume it is, because they refer to in these 2 episodes the Toymaker's Legion being part of the Pantheon. So I'm assuming the Toymaker is the god of games. Maestro is the god of music. Trickster's like the god of deception or something like that. Where the Doctor will be the god of time. That
does make sense.
That's what I would assume, and that's why he's from outside the universe. So it would make sense to be like the Doctor, because also we know that the moment the Toymaker came in, it branched through time. It wasn't just the same moment, because in the time the Toymaker came through, was different to the time that Maestro came through. And probably different. And probably a different time to when the one who waits comes through, or the big guy, whatever his name was, comes through. All these other people. So I assume.
Do we know? Do we know who the one who waits is?
No, that's one of the mystery boxes. We have no idea who it is.
Because I keep being reminded of Stephen Moffat's story arcs of like, the girl who waited, and the centurion who waited 2,000 years, and all of these types of things. I'm just like, it's going to be one of them.
No, it's a villain. It's a villain.
Yeah, of course.
But my granddaughter, they name drop Susan in the 2nd episode. So it's like my granddaughter, his daughter Jenny, who's somewhere out in the universe.
Somewhere.
Like, if you bring in David Tennant back, bring his wife back, please.
Yeah.
Like, there's all of that. And then you have Rose, who we know we're gonna see again. Not Rose Noble. Who we know we're gonna see again because we saw them in trailers. And it's like, and Rose has that kind of non-binary power thing that they had. So there's that. Like,
and Donna's just OP anyway.
Donna's just Donna.
Yeah.
Donna can destroy everyone with a cup of tea.
Yes.
But no. There's so much that could go on with this, and I think that's...
I guess so. I'm just a bit concerned, because if it doesn't end right, it will be a problem. Because a lot of people have like compared the Timeless Child to The Other, which was a plan in the late 80s. Of like revealing the Doctor was someone else. And the difference with that is that they were just going to reveal that the Doctor was someone else, and that's it. The mystery is that's left is we don't know anything about who that was, but we know that it's a big deal to the Doctor. Whereas with this, by explaining everything, there could be potential problems.
I don't think so. I think you can do it in a way where, like, obviously there'll be people complaining, because there's always people complaining about something Doctor Who, and it's annoying. But it happens. It happens in it anyway. It's just like I don't really. I'm tired of Doctor Who not answering things now. That's the one major thing I had with the Chibnall era, but the whole thing was, you're forcing us to go through this Timeless Child shit, and you're forcing me to watch this, and then you didn't tell me what it is.
Yeah.
So why am I sitting here watching if you're not even going to give me the answer to the thing you're trying to give this mystery to? And you spent this whole time going, oh, you're not who you think you are, Doctor. The whole reason the Master destroyed Gallifrey, all of this, all of that. The Doctor has the answer in her hands and lets it go. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? What the fuck is wrong with you? If you didn't want to change the law, don't even start changing the law. Don't even start bringing it. If you didn't think of an answer that you thought was cool, don't bring in the question. And and I don't want Davis to do this thing as well, where Davis goes, I'm not going to tell you what Ruby Sunday is. I'm not going to tell you all of this stuff. I'm not going to tell you who Mrs. Flood is. I'm not going to tell you what happened to blah, 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 blah. But let's get back to the episode, because we have the Doctor looking for ways to stop this this monster. And eventually, Nan E says the Doctor and Ruby to go meet.
Yeah. You know, the episode is very much like Wally, I think. Like Nanny, Wally, and then the babies were in the strollers, and it's like those
The fat
automated chairs. Yeah, the fat people. It is a lot like Wally. This episode, there's a lot of inspiration from it. If this is the worst one, then it's going to be a good season.
It is, because you can only go up from here.
Yeah,
because you're not Chibnall, who somehow went down.
Well, I mean, so long as Stephen didn't pay people to give good reviews, then you know we should be all right.
Why would you do that? That man does not care.
I know
that man will write Doctor Who and go back to hang out with his wife. Like he does not care.
Yeah.
But then it shows that Nan E is not actually an AI, is a person who's speaking through a filter, which makes herself sound AI. And which is funny because there's a gag throughout the whole episode wherever she swears, the AI changes it to something family friendly. So she's like.
But it's obviously not family friendly. It's like the kids would pick up on it.
She's like, oh, shut up, you expletive. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, shut up, you illegitimate child.
Exactly. You called him a son of a bitch. Oh my god.
No, I thought it was the other one.
No, it's
the other illegitimate child.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Illegitimate child.
Because I put in my notes, Russell insulted you.
Wow. Susan Twist cameo on the little screens. My favorite thing is, so this is a futuristic screen, but it has an iPhone charger going into it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
just reminding you, this is BBC One and not Disney Plus.
Like, we have budget, but not that much budget. It's still
it's like the budget's still on the plane from America.
Like, it's being flown in right now. That's all for next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. We see a lot of the people on the ship left, and this is where the episode becomes a bit political. And the weird thing is, people talk about politics in the recent season, be like, oh, it's agenda pushing, blah blah blah. But the bit they're talking about isn't actually true. The bit where they actually talk about politics, no one ever fucking realizes.
No.
It's just some dudes on Twitter hating the fact that the Doctor's black and a queer man, and it's like, okay, can you
that's ridiculous.
Like,
but all the stuff with Jodie not being a good enough for the role, that was fair. That's the difference for people who don't realize.
Because Shooty's fantastic, and we'll say this again.
Yeah, he's an incredible actor, and he suits the role extremely well.
Like, this part in the episode where they start talking about. They start talking about why the babies colony is a thing. So the babies colony is a thing because the planet below does not agree with abortions. So it's a talk about like the American abortion law stuff. So the babies are being born, but then have no place to go, which then starts talking about the refugee crisis, which T. Davies has wrote about before because he wrote about it in Years and Years. Main plotline in Years and Years was the refugee crisis.
If you haven't seen Years and Years, you need to watch it.
It's very good. Very good.
Up until episode 4 of this season, it's the best thing that Russell's written.
This is the best thing that I've written. No, but like, yeah, they're talking about refugee crisis as how the only they can't be picked up, like how refugees aren't picked up. They have to swim or sail to other shores and then get taken in. Like, the babies have to literally somehow get to the planet to be taken in. They have to drop at the planet's shore. So that's literally the line she said. And like, these parts that are political, people aren't even noticing it. And I'm like, well, the show's doing its job.
Yeah.
But then the moment Shooty does anything, people are going, not my Doctor. Bring back Capaldi. Not my Doctor. Bring back Tom Baker. Not my Doctor.
Shooty's being too white here. It's cultural appropriation. Shooty's being too black here. That's not like the Doctor at all.
Like, it's just the worst.
He can't win.
Like, I honestly just hate looking at Doctor Who Twitter now because every time I go on it, it's just some random tweet of a random racist account going, "Oh, my Doctor's now black and gay and dancing at the end of an episode. This is not my Doctor Who." I'm like, you must have the most boring life possible. I even got a racist tweet at me because I tweeted Doctor Who.
What?
Yeah, this happened. So I was tweeting on one of the Doctor Who tweets on Twitter, and I just basically said Doctor Who is back. And then this account, which was called Angry Gollywog, responded to me saying, you missed the L in black. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. So I responded to him saying, you missed the L in blocked. And then I blocked his ass. and then he started tweeting about me on his account. Even I'm not even trying to do, I'm just saying Doctor Who is back. I'm enjoying myself, that the fact I'm enjoying Doctor Who. But the fact that the Doctor in the screenshot was a black man, I just got racism like swung towards me for no reason. No reason. No. Like you can disagree about agenda pushing, even though there is no agenda pushing. You just
well, I mean, that's, if there is, it's certainly not that.
Like people's like, oh, Doctor Who's pushing trans agenda, blah blah agenda. I'm like, every time I'm like this, these people exist. Can't deny that these people exist. The fact that you ignored them in the show is less realistic than acknowledging they exist. Because people are like, Doctor Who's so unrealistic. Now they're talking about these things. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Like that's a difficulty for me as a writer, because I know very little about these groups, but I know that to be as realistic as possible, I do have to include these characters from time to time. Just because they exist and they're real. You know, you can think what you want about them, but they exist in the real world.
They exist,
and therefore you kind of have to write about them.
They exist. So trans people exist, queer people exist. They exist, and if you don't like that, well, fuck a banana. Okay, and like, but as the doctors, back to the episode. As the doctors saved Eric, we're gonna go through. Eventually, they realize that the alien, the monster is made of actual bogies, made from the bogies of the children when they're forced to blow their nose earlier in the days. So the doctor's like, okay, it's a bogeyman. They're running. Nanny leads them to a corridor and kind of blocks them between shuts door between the Doctor, Ruby, and the bogeyman, and she wants to save the children, so she's trying to flung the bogeyman out the spaceship. But the Doctor is really mad at it, because I like this, because they bring him out the Doctor's rule of like, everyone deserves a chance, you know? Everything deserves a chance. This monster is the only of its type. It deserves a chance to live. I can't let it die. So he saves it, revealing that it's also one of the children, because it's made by the computer. And eventually, everything is hunky-dory, nice and good. The children are safe. The monster's basically turned into a doggo. Because it goes, oh, like a wolf. It's a little doggo. All of them are happy. All of them are sound. And the Doctor gives Ruby Sunday a key as they go to explore. But as they get into the TARDIS, the Doctor tells Ruby, one thing he will never do is go to that place on Ruby Road, that church. You will never see who left you there. Can't ever see who left you there. That's a rule he can't and he personally won't break. Not the fact like he can't do it, he won't do it. Like, I'm telling you right now, I will not do this. Which is probably going back to the idea of either possibly he's scared of paradoxes, knowing what happened earlier in the episode, so like, I don't want to try that. Or he just knows that for Ruby, maybe the answer isn't the best thing for her. Just like for him, maybe the answer isn't the best thing for him. Because you have to remember, this is the same Doctor as Jodie's Doctor, technically. So he's made the active choice to not look into his past. He dropped that shit into the TARDIS. He said, I'm not going to do that. It's better to live my life not knowing than finding out and probably hating what I know. And he's probably going to give Ruby that lesson. But at the moment, Ruby's like, well, I want to go see who my mother is. I want to see my mother on Christmas Day. And we go and we see Ruby's nan and mum. And for Christ's sake, she got her cup of tea. She got her cup of tea.
She's been waiting 5 months for that cup of tea.
She finally got that cup of tea.
I was thinking, why are we back at Christmas? Because like it feels like the episode 2 as well. They feel like Christmas specials because it's set at Christmas effectively. Like they're all set around this same time as when she left.
Well,
and it just feels a bit
Christmas
strange.
is important to Ruby because it's the time she was born.
Yeah, but like, don't want every episode to be Christmas.
Well, we do know there's a 6-month time skip in the second episode.
Yeah, true.
So, because they talk about it being June, July time. But no, the episode ends with the Doctor scanning Ruby's body, kind of like how he did with Amy when he saw if she was pregnant or not.
Yeah.
And he weirdly is the first thing he said. My name was as if he was going to tell Ruby his real name, which makes you go like he trusts Ruby way too fast.
Yeah.
Like the only person who knew your name was your wife, and now you're telling this girl you've met for a day. Relax, kid. Relax. But yeah, Chris, what do you think of Church on? Well, not Church on Reverse. Sorry, Space Babies.
Rubbish. Really, it was very naff. I mean, it was fine. Like, you know, it kind of, when you kind of say what it's about, it's fine. But when you're actually watching it, it's very just boring, I guess. And like the thing with the baby faces is just really creepy. The bogeyman idea was cool, but it wasn't the episode to do it. Yeah, I was expecting this series to be like as fun as Series 4. Like, not like Series 4, but like on that kind of, you know, we know what we're doing now as a production team. We're gonna have fun, and you're gonna have fun watching it. And that was what I was expecting. We didn't get that. It was just very mid. I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Now, right, for me, Christopher.
Some stuff at the beginning was good. I'll like the exposition at the start about Gallifrey and stuff.
For me, Christopher, I thought this episode was the worst episode they could have chosen to start off a new series, a new reboot, say, of Doctor Who. This is the worst episode she could have done because it did not. And this is why I know that they decided to do a double bill, because they knew this would not be enough to keep people entertained.
Yeah.
So they said when they watch,
my mum fell asleep.
Because I watched it as soon as it came out. Like I'm sitting there going like, okay, cool. Okay. Like I like that Doctor Who was back. I like the energy the TARDIS crew gave. I did not like the plot. I did not think any of the characters other than the Doctor and Ruby were interesting. Like Jocelyn just didn't interest me at all.
No.
I feel like they could have done more with the topic of the refuginess of the babies. They could have really went with that. I feel like they could have cut out. They could have cut out the scene where the Doctor shows Ruby the world. So I don't think that was actually needed. They could have removed the whole monster of the bogeyman. I don't think that was needed. It could have been a ship stranded in space, ran by babies, space babies. So the babies have no way to get to that planet, which they know is accepting new people. Yeah, because it's a space station. It's not a ship. They can't get there. So the Doctor's having to figure out a way for them to get there, and then the looming threat, right, would be like, I don't know, one baby deciding to destroy everything because he thinks that they don't need to go there, you know. So then that's what I would have, something like that. Like really keep it contained in that episode. There's no need for a monster. And then you have this like the Doctor eventually helps them find a day, and then they go travel to the place, and you kind of see the babies being given to new families and stuff like that, being adopted. And then when you do that, that's when you bring in the idea of the Doctor being adopted and Ruby being adopted, you know, because they see the other babies being adopted, and they're like, it's just like you, just like me.
Yeah.
And then Ruby's, and then he gives her the TARDIS key, and Ruby's like, speaking of adoption, I'd like to go see who my birth parents. And that's when the Doctor goes, well, we're never doing that. You know, that's how you lead back into it. That's what I would do. So for me, Chris, the first time ever in the Doctor Why podcast, my review score is lower than Chris's.
Oh.
I've given this a 4 out of 10. I did not like this.
I was not aware that I was always ranking them lower than you.
You always rank it lower than me.
Right, okay.
I did not like this. I did not like this. I get it. I get the intent of it. I get it's meant to be a fun episode. I get it's meant to be an episode more oriented for the kids because it's got fart jokes, monsters, blah, blah, blah. Ew, slime. It's like a Nickelodeon fucking show, basically.
It's like New Earth, isn't it? It's like we've had the new Doctor in the Christmas special, and we got the start of the new series, and we're going to like a new place in the future, and it's all to do with like slime and you know, silly monsters, and it's New Earth, isn't it? It's the same as
silly.
that.
It's just silly. And I get why they did it. But I personally wouldn't have started with a silly episode. I would, especially with how I would have had a lighthearted episode, but an episode that's not silly but more fun, really to show the dynamic of Ruby Sunday and the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like similarly to
like Gridlock, I think. No, not so much in terms of what they do together, because Gridlock they're not together at all, but like just how much like fun Gridlock is.
Not even Gridlock. I would have something kind of like I would have had an episode. Sadly, I would have had an episode based on Earth to start off with.
Okay.
And it would have been similar vein to like when what's that episode? Christmas Invasion, actually.
Yeah.
Similar to Christmas Invasion. So the doctor's like, I'm Doctor, this is the TARDIS, blah, 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 blah. And then like have Ruby kind of run out and go, oh, no, I can't deal with that. They're just like, where are you going? You can see Mrs. Frog going, oh, hello. Is that a TARDIS? And the doctor goes, how the fuck do you know what that is? You know, just to start alluding to that. And then as Ruby's trying to go back to her parents, the doctor's kind of like, no, it's going to be fun, exploring, blah, blah, blah. Did you not enjoy what just happened? Like, no, I nearly lost I nearly lost a baby. It was terrifying. Goblins. It was creepy. The Goblin King. All of that was terrifying. Right?
Yeah.
I would have that happen. And then have a whole thing where like, the Doctor and Ruby's family aren't really on the same page. That's where the drama comes in. So Ruby's parents aren't really, and Nan aren't really that keen of the Doctor. This weird guy nearly just took our daughter away. What the fuck's going on? We've never met you before. You know you for like 5 hours. The fuck is happening? Who are you?
Yeah.
So as the Doctor's kind of going away, the Doctor's trying to like, he's still concerned about Ruby Sunday, right? And then someone tries to invade the planet. Yeah. And they take Ruby Sunday. Right? And this is where your episode splits in half. It's the Doctor figuring out that Ruby was taken. Hell, you can even have Mrs. Flood come in and say, Doctor, and he goes, how do you know my name? Don't worry about that. Ruby Sunday just got taken. And he goes, what? You know? Really start teasing something like that. And then your episode split into two of Ruby with her family on a spaceship trying to escape, and the Doctor trying to get into the ship to save them. And then that's where that thing happens. And then eventually the Doctor saves them. Ruby's parents trust the Doctor with Ruby. The Doctor sees that Ruby can think for herself and goes, do you want to have a trip in the TARDIS? And she goes, all right then, cool. And then you lead into that, and then that's when their adventure starts. And then you can have the next episode literally be Devil's Cord, because then it makes sense that your time skip works. Because now you can start that episode being like, the parents know where she's been.
Mm.
They've been traveling together for a bit, so they have a bit
Yeah.
of a rapport. So the doctor's like, okay, we've been to this place, this place, this place, this place. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to see the Beatles record their first album. And that's what we lead into. And just done. You know? I didn't think
Yeah.
Space Babies was the right start.
No, I would agree.
So that's why I give it a 4 out of 10.
Like in the old style kind of 13 episode series, that Space Babies would be like episode 3. It'd be like the Mark Gatiss or Gareth Roberts episode that no one likes.
It would be the actual filler episode. Getting a call, Chris.
Yeah, I am. Sorry. Did you hear that?
Yes. But yes, we are going to be leading into the next episode, which is why this episode right now, recording is going to be quite long. So just get prepared, everyone, as we're going into 1925 in the Devil's Court. Now, Chris, instantly, did you notice something about 1925?
1925. I'll have to quickly pop into the episode.
No.
Or are you just meaning generally?
No.
Oh, is that like? No.
Come on, think about
I
it.
was going to say, was that like 100 years of the BBC? But that's wrong.
No. 1925 is the year that the Doctor saw the toy maker in the giggle.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So when he went to the toy maker shop, that is 1925.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So this thing is starting to show, seemingly, that every single one of the toy maker's legions popped out in 1925.
Right. Okay.
Because the toy maker appeared in 1925. The Maestro appears because this man plays the Devil's Chord in 1925.
Yeah.
Is everyone else coming around in 1925?
Well, we'd have to find out about the Doctor if your theory is correct.
Maybe the Doctor was found in 1925.
And then he
will use his time powers to go backwards.
Yeah.
To try to change everything.
And ended up by that portal.
Yeah, and that's what Take-Two found.
He never went through the portal. He just went back in time.
The portal meant nothing to the Doctor.
Yeah,
it's just a random portal there that the Doctor was like, "The fuck is this?" But no, the guy starts playing an instrument. He's his kid's music teacher, and the kid's just bored at the show. Not the show, at the lesson. He's like, whatever.
Practice.
So he's like, "Oh, I want to play something more interesting for you. It's called The Devil's Chord. The church banned it because they believed if you played this, it would bring forth the devil." And then this guy, like an idiot, plays The Devil's Chord, and the kid's enjoying it. And as he plays The Devil's Chord, the piano falls, and he's like, "What the hell?" He's knocking the piano. He's like, "What the hell? Is someone playing a game on me?" As he goes to check around it, ta-da! It's the Maestro. Ooh.
Yeah.
Instantly, Jinx Monsoon is so captivating for me. The moment I'm like, she's a bit terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. Because then the first thing he does is he reveals that the kid is Harry Harbinger. No, it's Harbinger.
Yeah.
And then so whenever you see this kid, that generally means coming forth will be Maestro. Harbinger Maestro.
Okay.
That's what the kid means. So when you see the kid, Maestro it could be caught up, which it comes back later on in the episode. Don't forget that. So as Maestro is doing that, Maestro's playing the piano, taking out magical music out of this guy's heart, and as he falls to the ground and dies. Wow, we got a death in the Doctor Who cold open. We're back, baby. Maestro eats the music that came from his heart, looks at the camera breaking the fourth wall, and starts playing the Doctor Who theme tune on the piano.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, I'm like, This episode's made for me because it's about music. This is my episode. This is my episode, Chris. It's my episode.
Yes, it's for you. It's for you, but it's not for deaf people, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't know how they're gonna know anything that's happening. What's music?
No, exactly. It's like Russell isn't inclusive at all.
Has a RuPaul Drag Race winner as a villain on Doctor Who. Not inclusive at all.
No.
But what did you think about that cold open, Chris?
It was a good cold open. I like that the kid died. It raised the stakes.
That's all you care for, Chris, is raising the stakes.
Yeah, that's all I care about. I know. All I care about is children dying.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is gonna be like, can we bring in another kid in our next movie and can I kill him off? Like, no!
It's like if I ever work for Doctor Who, every child that ever comes on screen at any point will die.
Crazy. But I like that a lot. And later on,
that was a really good cold open.
I will start show. My love for Jinx Monsoon is going to grow and grow this episode. I just absolutely love how pantomime it started to feel. It's very like it's over the top, but on purpose, because it's like the Maestro's doing a performance all the time. Everything that they do is a performance. So the Maestro's like, I'm Maestro. Like really holds it. It's like, I'm music. It's like really just keeping it going. It's a whole pantomime. Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to like I was expecting the Maestro to pop behind someone and like somehow the audience goes, he's behind you. He's behind you. Watch out, he's behind you. Because it's a pantomime at this moment, and I'm loving it. Loving it. We go into the introduction, and the Doctor and Ruby are kind of in the TARDIS just chilling. Ruby's like, Doctor, I want to go see the Beatles record their first album. And the Doctor's like,
how have I never thought of that?
That's amazing. Oh, I've never done that. People say fucking the Titanic and like the Beatles.
Right.
They want to go see the Beatles. And because they want to go see the Beatles, I was just like, okay, I'll go see the Beatles.
No. So Ruby doesn't say she wants to meet the Beatles. She says she wants to meet the Beatles.
Beatles? I want to meet the Beatles.
Who are the Beatles?
I want to meet the Beatles.
There's no T in there.
I want to meet the Beatles.
That's what happens when you get someone from Coronation Street on Doctor Who.
Jesus Christ. All right, Doctor. I want to go meet the Beatles. The Beatles.
I'm going to go down the calf.
Go out,
and then
calf.
I'm going to...
Go out, calf, meet Beatles. Get dressed up in a
beehive. The tram's... Oh no, the tram has crashed again.
Oh no, the underground's done. I want to meet the Beatles. The Beatles.
We're so bad.
But eventually, as I go now, the Ruby's like, what about our outfits? And this is one of the best kind of shots I've seen in Doctor Who in a long time.
Yeah.
Where they pan up, following them going towards the TARDIS.
This is what they showed in Unleashed, like an hour after the episode started.
They're panning up, they show the TARDIS going up as they're walking towards the wardrobe. And they keep... I know how they did it. They obviously did the shot and then kept the camera still. And then had them go up and come out. But it was just a cool way of doing it. Ruby's like, I'm gonna wear her beehive, and the Doctor's like, I've got wigs galore, which kind of reveals now, because everyone's like, did the Doctor grow his hair? What the hell happened? The Doctor was wearing a wig. So that's what's happened.
I would have loved it if he did actually grow his hair in that time, but oh well.
But it's like, these two are such like busy buds.
Yeah.
And you can feel that energy. They're just busy buds. It's like when my friend Katie and Kelda first met during our screening, and it's like, the fuck's happening here? It gives off queer best friend energy.
Yeah,
that's what it gives off.
I wrote down in my notes for episode 1. The Doctor is so chill. Ruby feels so safe.
Aww. It is. Like they just feel great. So they go on Abbey Road. They're doing the dance on the road. Obviously, it's not the actual road. It's somewhere in fucking
in the studio.
no, not the studio. The road is somewhere in Cardiff.
Cardiff or something. Yeah.
And they just did a
But they got the car in the background, and it does actually have the correct number plate because people know the number plate because it's part of a conspiracy.
But as they go into EMI Studio Records, they're going in, they're kind of sucking their pretend that they're there to give them their tea. And the Doctor and Ruby are like, oh my God, we're about to see the Beatles. We're about to see the Beatles record something. And they make a song about a fucking dog.
I loved it. I
haven't got a cat, only your dog. My dog, my dog, my dog, my dog. My face was like
the Beatles could make that work.
My face was like the Doctor's when they saw and heard us, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
I loved it. I hope it goes on Spotify.
My dog, my dog, my dog, my dog. So yeah, they see Cilla Black, to record a song, and Cilla's Black song is terrible also. So they're stunned.
Yeah, that one was bad.
So they go to an orchestra, ready to hear them play, and as they go to play, it's terrible. So something's happened to music in this world. Something dreadfully wrong with music. And the Doctor and Ruby are contemplating it, like, well, what's happened?
Yeah.
Something must have happened. This is not what it's meant to be. So then the Doctor sees a newspaper on it, seeing that a war is ready to start, and like, that didn't happen. History's changing. That's not meant to go how that meant to go. So they perhaps hatch a plan to go talk to, obviously, the two best members of the Beatles, John.
Yeah.
And
Billy. Paul.
Billy? John and Paul.
I'm referring to a conspiracy, don't worry.
Imagine if they went and talked to Ringo Starr.
Just like, I don't know anything about music. I just hit the drums.
No, but so the next bit is really funny because they are talking about their tea and how much their tea costs, and the lady is again Susan Twist.
Yeah.
And they're making it purposely, because they did in the last episode as well. They make it purposely. The Doctor does not see Susan when she's talking.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious as who is she? Who is she? Why is she so secrety? Because she's everywhere. Because she was there when Mavity was turned into Mavity. Because she was there with Isaac Newton. She was there with Isaac Newton. Yeah. That's what we first saw. We saw her when Ruby was playing her piano in Church of Ruby Road. She was that hippie woman. We saw her on the computer screen as one of the space officer people who left the space station. And now we see her here again. And we know we're going to see her next episode because she's a robot called Ambulance in that episode. So who the fuck is this woman, Chris?
Yeah. Is it Mrs. Flood?
I'm so interested. See, these mystery boxes are getting me. I don't know who the fuck this woman is. Who is Mrs. Flood? Who is Ruby's parents? Why the fuck is it snowing every time? Why does she have music in her heart? I don't know anymore. And why did they mention Susan? Chris, what's happening? What's going on? They're just chucking a fucking bunch of shit at me. I don't know what the fuck I'm meant to do. What am I getting? Oh my God. I know Davies is writing the third series right now. Which means that
I thought he was writing the fourth.
No, he's writing the third one right now. I think he's gonna write the fourth. I think he's just trying to be a series ahead each time.
Yeah.
But that's maybe it is the fourth, but he's writing one of the next ones right now.
Yeah.
And we do know that the Disney Plus deal is only for 2 years.
Okay.
So hopefully with that, probably means they're going to get renewed again. Okay. So yeah, so they talk about how the music was kind of lost in the 20s and now he has this song in his head. And the moment he's trying to sing this song, the Doctor drops his spoon because in every reflection you see Maestro.
Mm.
And then basically the Beatles just kind of curse out the Doctor. Like, why are you making me talk about music? Fuck you.
Yeah.
So they go on. So they take a piano to the roof, and they start talking about how the world will be like without music. So no one will dance. There'll be no love songs, and there'll be no way
Yeah.
for humans to express their feelings without words. Which is why war is starting to occur and stuff like that. So they go onto the roof. Doctor's like, well, you know what? I love London. I love London this time and this time. And Ruby's like, why? Because I live in London. I live over there. And he's like, what do you mean? I live over there with my granddaughter, Susan. It's happily. And she's like, you have a granddaughter? I did. Why can't we go see your granddaughter? And she's like, well, I don't know if she's dead. And he's like, what do you mean you don't know if she's dead?
Yeah.
And then this is when there's a cool explanation of what the Master did on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
And how you didn't just destroy Gallifrey, he destroyed the Time Lords, and that kind of echoed out through time, that destruction. In a crazy sense. Because the Doctor doesn't know whether destroying that went back through time and killed his granddaughter as well.
Yeah.
Or not. And I honestly think, because we know that the actress for Susan, the original one, was at the premiere of the specials.
Yeah.
I honestly think they're bringing Susan back.
Yeah.
And this is where my second prediction comes in. Chris?
Yeah.
Who did Susan live with when she left with the TARDIS?
She married a guy called David.
And what was David's race?
Human.
What is Ruby Sunday?
Human.
Do we know? I think...
You're talking rubbish.
I think Ruby Sunday is a relative of Susan and David. And I think...
Yes, keep it for the forums.
I think... No, watch me, Chris. I think that's what's happened. So...
You'll probably be right, to be fair.
And this is where my second prediction comes in. We know that there's another companion coming in next series. What I think is there's going to be a sort of either a bi-generation or a generation kind of situation where Ruby regenerates into that new companion and there's two of them stuck in this world. That's what I think this is going. Because I think we're moving away from always a human companion.
But we're having one that initially appears human to start with to get new people in.
Which was our idea, and I'm pissed.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm pissed as well.
But yeah, no, that's what I think.
I forgot that was our idea.
I honestly think there's either that's going to happen, that Susan is Ruby's relative, or Susan is Susan Twist. Because there's always a twist in the end. That's what I think. And I think that the Susan Twist is going to be bitter and angry that the Doctor never came back to see her. But the Doctor said, I will come back. Someday, I will come back. And he never fucking did.
Hey, he still could.
But he never did. He never did.
If he does at some point, he won't have broken his promise.
But that's what I think. Those are my two predictions. But yes, Ruby Sunday goes to the piano and starts playing her own theme on the piano. Boom, boom. Playing this nice waltz, and it's a really nice, beautiful scene.
Yeah.
In the universe, the song's dedicated to her two lesbian friends during a breakup.
Yeah.
And I
see, I'm confused how Ruby knows so many people within the LGBTQ plus community. Like, how do people just meet so many people?
Because she fucking went to an art school. Most likely.
Oh, she went to an art school.
She's a musician. She probably went to a fucking art school and met them all there.
Of course. Yeah,
that's probably what happened.
You don't find that many, keep everything inside conservative artists, do you?
No, not really.
Like, you know, artists don't tend to keep their thoughts to themselves.
But then as the movie's playing it, the maestro comes out of the piano. And when the maestro comes out of the piano, what does the maestro go? The maestro goes, ah,
Yeah, it's the scales.
which is the arpeggio that the toy maker. The toy maker,
Yeah.
and the doctor hears that and is absolutely terrified. He's running. He's like, that was the giggle. We can't deal with this. This monster is beyond anything. Ruby, we have to hide. And Ruby's like, you don't hide. Like, I don't care. We have to hide. So they're hiding in this like a storage section underneath the water, underneath the ground, and Maestro comes down and it's like listening around, and Maestro's dinging a ring with a tuning fork, and I like that's really it's a really cool shot of like a first person view of the tuning fork, like detecting where music comes from, and I think that's really cool. I wish Maestro comes back to do more.
Yeah.
But as they're doing that stuff with the tuning fork, Maestro's getting closer and closer. She's like, "I'm Maestro," introducing herself to the doctor, and I'm here to stop anyone who's playing music because music is mine. You know, getting really angry about it. So then the doctor decides to do.
I'm just looking at this. I think Jinx got a tattoo of musical notes, like not like a temporary one, got a permanent tattoo for this episode.
I think he just had it.
Oh, really?
I don't know. We'll have to see that. But this is one of my favorite uses of the sonic screwdriver I've ever seen. Because it's actually doing something that would make sense of a sonic device to do, which would cancel out sound. You know, like noise cancelling headphones. So it's like it also just points it up.
Sound.
Yeah, and that's what it points it up and starts blocking out the sound with the sonic. So the maestro's like, I can't speak. Smashing glass on the floor, screaming, singing, doing all they can to make noise, and realize, I know what's happened. There's a device dampening the sound. So what I'm going to do is ding the little tuning fork and put it into a puddle, which starts vibrations, which is like the rawest form of music, which gave Maestro power to stop the sonic screwdriver. But luckily for the doctor and Ruby, an old woman decides to play her piano because she heard Ruby playing it earlier. And fun fact, this woman is the costume designer for Tom Baker's Doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little Easter egg.
I mean, surely the last season or something, because that was a while ago.
As she's playing the piano, Maestro comes through, and then of course with Maestro going through the piano Ruby was playing to come out the piano that lady's playing, and then as she comes out, she closes the blinds because he's about to kill this old woman and gives a little blink to camera.
Yeah.
I'm loving Maestro at this moment. I'm loving Maestro's energy. I'm loving everything. I felt that fear the doctor had, and I'm like, this is so.
Yeah.
So, Maestro. What did you think about Maestro so far, Chris?
I don't. She was a. Actually, I don't even know what pronouns I'm supposed to be using.
Jinx uses she, but the Maestro uses they. The character the Maestro uses they, because the Maestro doesn't have a gender. It's like God.
Okay.
Like,
okay. So, Maestro is a good character. Like, you know, a really fun character. You know. I didn't find it in any way. Like, I mean, this episode really in general until the end, which I'll get to. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't enjoyable. I enjoyed it all the way through, and I enjoyed the character of Maestro. But Maestro isn't my kind of character the same way that, like, it's your kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get the same kind of experience from Maestro as you clearly did.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, absolutely. You know, it's great to have a villain who's like having so much fun. I like villains like that. We should do that for our next film.
The
In
thing,
the series.
the thing I like about Maestro is that
Yeah.
Maestro's fun shows confidence, and then confidence is scary.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if someone's confident they're gonna beat the doc,
Yeah.
can you hear that?
Actually.
Can you hear that? There you go. There's an alarm going off outside my window. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, as I was saying, because Maestro has such confidence that they're gonna beat the Doctor, that's scary. That's just terrifying. But I like Maestro for most reasons. Also the music inspiration stuff. But as we move through,
Yeah.
Ruby, the Doctor's like, this is done. The last time I faced someone like this was the Toymaker, and he literally tore my soul in half. Now that's a cool thing, because we didn't really understand how it felt for the Doctor to bigenerate. And the idea that it was actually painful and like your soul ripping in half makes sense.
Yeah.
And it also being a one-time trick with the gods. Like he said, the gods, you can only do it once with the gods. And that was once. So bigeneration isn't a replacement for regeneration. It's just that one-time thing that happened.
Yeah, it's a one-time thing.
And I'm like, fucking hell. Maybe, yeah, no, that is scary. But then Ruby's like, well, the world did not end in 1939. I'm alive. And this was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I mean, the last time we saw the Doctor do something like this was in like a classic series, I remember.
I'm trying to think.
I think Tom Baker.
Go on.
I think Tom Baker showed, I forget which character it is, what would happen to the world if they didn't fix this.
Yeah.
And the Doctor does the same thing, shows Ruby, this is the world if we do not stop Maestro. And Ruby's like, why am I still here? The Doctor's like, well, because of me.
I was thinking at that point, does this mean that it's now happened because it's like a fixed point in their timeline that it happened?
Well, no, because I think they've changed it again. It's what I'm talking about. Like they changed the rules of time travel. I don't think fixed points, because the fixed points is a very Moffat invention.
Yes,
because we didn't really have fixed points per se with the RTD1. Moffat came with the idea of fixed points because, you know, bits of history that he doesn't want to change. So he knows, because he doesn't want to, because he wants to stop the logic of I can just go back and change it, you know, because I'll just end his stories in like a second. He was like, just go back and change it. It's like, okay. Well, he goes, no, I can't. It's a fixed point. The Doctor has to die. It's like, okay. But I think they're changing it back, which is the whole like slight reset with the Toymaker coming in and the whole butterfly effect thing happening, and the Doctor not wanting to go back to Ruby's past. Because I've always said, if I was writing it, I'd make a fixed point just be history the Doctor knows happens because he's seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, history or future in the sense that he's not seen is wherever, and they can explore that because that's always going to happen. You know, that's time will always go the way it's meant to go. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I logically think about it. But I think what they're doing here is the fact that, like, the butterfly effect is real. The changes in the past will change the future no matter what. The Doctor shows Ruby this past, right? What could have happened, so on and so forth. But boom, out of nowhere, boom. Jinx Monsoon's Maestro in a nice purple dress. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
And instantly transforms the world into kind of like void, like stage void, and I think that's really cool. It shows the power of these beings. Just boom, you're transported away from Earth. You're now in the void. You know. And she explains that the Toymaker is their father. That the Toymaker wasn't the best father. Daddy was so mean. Daddy was so mean. Daddy mean.
It's like everyone with daddy issues is just like, oh, that's my tune.
And it's so funny because I realized this recently. the
Yeah.
Toymaker and Maestro are both American.
Yeah.
So is every one of the Toymaker's Legion American? Or
Perhaps.
now that starts to make me think, who are all the American actors Russell T Davies has worked with in the past?
Mm.
Because that could be a good
Yeah,
lead in.
John Barrowman. John Barrowman.
We can't talk about John Barrowman on this podcast.
No.
No, but it makes me cool. Because it explains this whole story, and the Doctor's terrified. The Doctor's like, the Toymaker set fair play as a rule, and Marsha's like, yeah, that's his rule, not mine. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I'm not following my dad's rules, dumb. And you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to steal your TARDIS, because everything that makes sound makes music, and that's what I own. So the TARDIS is about to fucking disappear. The Doctor runs back in. Cool fact. The background, the lights on the background and the TARDIS are all like sound waves. You know, like an editing software where it goes green, orange, red as it gets to the top. So as it's going back and forth, it's like sound waves on the little roundels. I think that was a really cool touch. As they go back, this is where the Doctor kind of goes, what before the Doctor, that's where the Doctor revealed that like there was a 6-month time skip, because he asked what was Ruby's time, and it was June 2024, not December 2023. So time skip. But as they go back, it looks like I can only take us back to 1963. And as they go back, the TARDIS makes a bit of noise. The Doctor's a bit confused. Again, something's wrong with the TARDIS, Chris. Something is wrong with the TARDIS. We'll find out. But as they go back, the Doctor's like, if a chord summon Maestro, there must be a chord to banish Maestro.
Yeah.
So the Doctor's trying to figure this out, and this is one of my favorite bits, which I love. You start to notice the background music, whenever it's shot on the Doctor, it's muffled. But when it's on the shot with Ruby, it's loud as hell. And Ruby can hear the theme. Oh, sorry, the music. And Ruby's like, what is, Doctor, did you hear that? And the Doctor's like, hear what? Music comes and grabs Ruby by the legs and drags her away. The actual music, the actual score from the background grabs Ruby and drags her away. And the Doctor says one line, which made me chuckle. The Doctor goes, I thought that was non-diegetic. Which means,
yes.
For people who don't know, diegetic music and non-diegetic music is the difference between music that the characters can actively hear and the characters can't hear. So things like Ruby playing the piano would be diegetic music. But whenever in like Space Baby the Doctor's theme was playing, that's non-diegetic. The Doctor cannot hear it. The Doctor's like, I thought that was non-diegetic. So the literal music in the background is grabbing Ruby, dragging her away. So the Doctor runs, and Jinx is in a crazy outfit, looking insane. Like, starts screaming like she's the only human left with music in her heart. Some stupid sad song about love-struck lesbians. And I'm like, this is fucking great. This is amazing. Until eventually the song starts playing out of Ruby, and the carol, the carol from the Christmas episode that's playing out of Ruby, and Maestro's confused because according to Maestro, this song has the power of someone who was there during Ruby's birth. Someone, a part of the pantheon, was there during Ruby's birth, and that confused Maestro. This person is not the one who waits, I don't think, because the way Maestro refers to them as because the Doctor goes, power like who, and Maestro refers to them as the oldest one. Which, if they were referring to the one who waits, would be like the one who waits, like that's his power. But like they refer to him as the oldest one. So there's another person. The oldest one was there during Ruby's birth.
Yeah. You know what? That would make sense with your theory.
Yes. That's why I thought this did, because I was like, I think the person who was there was the Doctor.
Because we know he was there, and we saw no one else there.
And we don't, other than Ruby's mother.
And the vicar.
And we don't know if because when early on in the episode when Mercia was talking to the Doctor, they referred to the Doctor as the Lord Temporal.
Yeah.
This Time Lord, the Lord of Time.
Mm.
And the idea was the Lord Temporal bound their father in salt, which is what the Doctor did. And what I'm thinking is this. They think the Lord Temporal is David Tennant's 14th Doctor. They don't know about the bi-generation. So they don't know Ncuti is the same person. And they don't understand that the Lord Temporal is literally the Doctor, literally Ncuti. So it's confusing us why the Lord Temporal was there. So which is what comes to my idea that the Doctor was part of the Pantheon. The Doctor would be Lord Temporal, Lord of Time.
Because there are no other Time Lords.
No. Well, there was no one. This is the original Time Lord. Lord Temporal. This is what the Time Lord was based off. This is where my theory came from, Chris. It's not baseless.
That's really cool.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's what that is. Lord Temporal's the Doctor. So the Doctor, and I think that's what the thing, and I think that's going to be a thing where the Doctor realizes he's messed up Ruby, and I don't even know. Maybe in Boom the Doctor dies. I don't even know. And because we know there's because during this time, the season 1, Ncuti was filming for Barbie, the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
So he wasn't actually there for a lot of filming, even though he's been in multiple episodes. But these were filmed very later in the studios. But in filming outside because of Doctor Who location filming on Twitter, we know that a lot of the shooting was around Millie and Gemma Redgrave. And I think the episode after Boom, so the episode 47 steps or whatever it is, 47 yards, will be post the Doctor dying. The TARDIS took them back and the TARDIS starts to die. And it starts being that thing that the Doctor said during Wild Beyond, of the TARDIS just staying there, becoming a monument, civilizations were built around it, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's a callback to that. And Ruby's going to try to think of a way to bring the Doctor back. Kind of like a turn left situation, How do we change time and bring the Doctor back? How do I stop him from doing that? Because I can't control the TARDIS, And I think by the end of that episode, that's when they bring the Doctor back and we start to realize that Ruby's special, which is why my other theory is that Ruby probably is a descendant of Susan. That's what I think. Because I think Ruby's going to remember Susan's alive. Right, that's what I think. Ruby's gonna remember. Doctor talk about his granddaughter. Is she still around? I'm gonna find her. Kate, do you know where the Susan is? Sure, Susan, you've been in the TARDIS before. You can control the TARDIS. Susan, you came up with the anagram TARDIS. You came up with that. Like, you know how to help me do this and fix it and save your grandfather. That's what I think is gonna happen. That's what I think is gonna happen. That's where my theory's going. It's extensive. But yes, the Lord Temple, that's what I think is the oldest one.
So who do you think, actually, I think you said you don't know, but who do you think the one who waits is?
No idea.
No, okay.
I think it's the Ragnarok dudes or
the Ragnarok dudes? You mean the Sycorax?
No, because they mentioned it with Tennant and Ncuti, the Sons of Ragnarok or something like that.
Oh, the Sons of Ragnarok. Okay.
That or
this isn't a Marvel movie.
No. Or Chris, you're gonna like this one.
Go on.
It's Omega, Chris.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's Omega, Chris. It's Omega.
That would be cool.
The one who waits. Or what's that fucking version of the Doctor who's like an evil version of the Doctor? That was meant to be between his he's like
the Valiard.
I'll be the Valiard, Chris. The one who waits.
Yeah.
I have no idea, and I'm so excited to see who it is. I hope it's not just it was the Doctor. I'm like, kill yourself.
Well, no, it's supposed to be between the 12th and final incarnation.
Yeah, but that's when it's birthed.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he can't travel in time after that, Chris.
But then in series 7 with the name of the Doctor, the Valiard was described as before the end, but that was after the 12th incarnation. Because Matt's number 13.
Matt Smith is technically the 12th Doctor.
Technically number 13 because he
yeah,
he doesn't have any more lives.
Yeah. So it's between Matt and David.
Yeah. So is it the Meta Crisis then?
I didn't even think of that.
No, I've heard that before on YouTube videos.
What if the Meta Crisis Doctor is the Valley? Oh!
They look nothing alike, and they're not, and he's not supposed to regenerate.
I'm talking like Gwen from Gavin and Stacey. Oh!
Oh! What's occurring?
Oh! No, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because then the barriers of the universes are broken down, which would mean like
because
also we know the Doctor
he grew a TARDIS.
No, because we know the Valia can't regenerate, and neither can the Meta Crisis Doctor.
But they don't look anything alike.
But we do know the Meta Crisis Doctor can grow old, and we know that it takes the Doctor a long time to grow old because it happened with Matt Smith's Doctor. So what if he outlived Rose? Rose dies.
Yeah, what if he did? No, but he has a normal human lifespan.
No, you can write calm.
That's
no one remembers that. The Doctor's half human.
I do.
The Doctor's half human. No. We don't watch that TV movie. No, we don't remember that. No, but you could have it be like the Doctor, that Doctor. Rose died out, and he's like, I have nothing to do, and he is the value. He's also Lord Temporal, technically.
Yeah.
So he is also brought through into this universe with the other of the Toymaker's legions.
Oh, so maybe that's 1925. Yeah.
You can go about it anyway, Chris. It's so good.
And you know they're gonna get David Tennant back anyway. So
then it'll be an older David Tennant, the one who's outlived Rose.
Yeah, and one that won't be trying to look like he's still 30.
And also, you can
look his age.
You can let David Tennant act like Kilgrave in the Marvel movies. You can let David Tennant act like an evil guy. That would be so good. David Tennant like gets shooty. No, I like that. Yeah, see, that's what I would do.
That works really well.
That's what I would do. Fuck the new watchers who don't understand this law. Fuck them.
But then who would be the one who waits? Because if that's the Lord Temporal,
Omega.
Oh yeah, Omega. Sorry, of course.
Yeah, Omega's the one who waits.
Yeah,
he's been waiting.
Yeah, no, yeah. That all makes sense then.
He's been waiting. Omega's the one who waits. He's been waiting. Or Rassilon.
Rassilon's a joke.
No,
he's like, I discovered immortality, but I have to be in my coffin to enjoy it.
No, but it'll be Omega. I would say Omega comes in. Then that will make because I would think because what I would have is the end of this season, the Doctor loses to the Pantheon, right?
Yeah,
but he and
which means the Trickster's back. This means the Trickster will be back.
You know what's really weird, knowing that how young Millie Gibson is. She grew up with Sarah Jane Adventures, so she knows the Trickster.
Well, no, she was younger. She was younger than that.
No, but she grew up with this. She said this in an interview. She grew up with the Sarah Jane Adventures.
She said it.
And she said a villain she would want to go against with the Doctor is the Trickster.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really cool.
We've also got to consider the Black and White Guardian. Because the Black and White Guardian is literally the Trickster, but like does the same things as the Trickster, but is a lot more.
I feel like if you put the Trickster in, it'll be a lot easier for new audiences to get because there'll be more footage and like more recent Doctor Who type footage for them to see and learn about.
I mean, perhaps the way about it is to just say that the Trickster is the Black and White Guardian.
Because the Trickster is the name that Sarah Jane Adventures came up with, not his actual name.
Yeah.
Like he does refer to himself as I am the Trickster. But like
that's only after.
Yeah, maybe he just like changed his name because that's what people start calling him. It's like, well, people call me the Trickster.
He's like I can maintain a level of like aminicity.
Ambiguity.
I can remain somewhat anonymous.
Anonymous. That's the one you're looking for.
I can remain somewhat anonymous if I refer to myself by the name that people have given me.
Because you can go many ways with this, and this is why I'm very excited compared to Chibnall. I was like, I don't care. Like you can just see the theories are soothing. Oh, I'm gonna make a theory video. That's what I'm gonna do.
Actually, you know what? This is really interesting because with Steven's era, it was all about that series story arc, but this is like a more long-term thing.
Yeah, that's what I like about Russell's things. It's very long-term. And you know that he's not gonna reveal the big thing until he's like, I'm handing it over to the rest of my team. You know?
Yeah.
Because the moment he does that and becomes a Kevin Feige of Doctor Who, just sitting back and going, "That's a good idea. That's a bad idea," in emails.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep this stretching out forever.
Yeah. Like he's gonna be like a 90-year-old man, be like, yes, Scott, that's a brilliant idea. Well
Scott,
done,
Scott. I remember when you were just a little script editor, and now you're writing brilliant stories. And everyone's like, this sucks. Why do you keep on gaze into Doctor Who? It's like, bro, relax.
Oh no, this would be brilliant. It's like, my name is Russell T. Davies. I am 150 years old, and I am reborn.
Oh my god,
like Lazarus.
The fact they haven't got Mark Gatiss to do something in this series is crazy, by the way.
Yeah, well, maybe he's acting at some point, but I haven't heard anything. We would have heard if he was writing an episode.
Yeah, like we heard that Moffat's writing a Christmas episode. But yes, no, back into the episode, as we just went on a tangent about who these people could be.
Huge tangent.
The Doctor starts trying to learn the codes by bringing out all the history he's lived, because he's lived a long time, and he's bringing out note after note after note, but he fudges up the last note, and that starts music battle.
Yeah,
and this music battle is awesome. You see Jinx's maestro on the violin, the Doctor and Ruby are playing the piano, the music notes are flying. One thing I would have done with the scene slightly different is I would have had the music notes like be like thrown at each other and hit and spark shit up, like pff, like really like explosive. Like, I would have had that.
The budget didn't stretch that far.
Well, they probably didn't plan it that way.
No, probably not.
Because I would have had it like that, but like the Doctor plays something and it like flings notes and it just sparks, and then like the maestro plays something, it flings notes and sparks, and then it ends with something the Doctor and Ruby play breaks the violin, and that's when Maestra's like, fuck! Oh!
Yeah.
But that happens, the Maestra's violin breaks, and Maestro says, you know what, I'm done, and drags both Ruby and the Doctor into instruments, Ruby into a cello, the Doctor into a drum, and banishes the piano outside the room, which John and Paul see. And they see floating above it are these notes. And they call back to the little conversation they had with the Doctor and Ruby, where they mentioned that they had this chord in their head, this song in their head. And they recollect it, so they know what the last note is. And they play it. Boom. And it banishes Maestro back into the piano. All before Maestro saying, the one who waits is almost here.
Yeah.
And now, the most controversial thing to happen in the Doctor Who Twitter is the Doctor takes Millie, Ruby back up to the roof, and it's like, music's back, you can hear it on the streets. And he looks at Millie and goes, but there's always a twist at the end. Looks at the camera, winks. And there's like a 3-minute musical performance with a cameo by our favorite composer, Murray Gold. And also, Harbinger is seen there, proving that Maestro's not fully gone. You've just like the Toymaker, you've not defeated them, you just locked them away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if someone plays the Devil's Chord again, Maestro will be back.
We'll be back, yeah.
Because like if someone gets rid of that salt binding the Toymaker will be back. You know? Now, Chris, what did you think about this musical performance?
Oh my goodness. I don't know how Murray Gold did it, but the dog song was better.
There's always a twist. There's always a twist in the end. So my issue with it is I like what it done. So people are saying it doesn't make sense. Fuck off. It makes sense. We know the rule with these gods is that when they are locked away, their world lingers, right? Their powers
Mm.
linger. The Toymaker's power lingered, which allowed the Doctor to make another TARDIS, right? That lingered. It makes sense that Maestro's power lingers. So when all of the music comes back, they can do a fourth wall breaking musical performance. That makes sense
Yeah.
to me. That makes sense. Now my issue
Mm.
is it went on too long.
My issue is just that it's just not a very good lead into it. Like contextually, it's fine, but like it doesn't. It feels too disconnected from the episode in terms of the tone.
I feel like because I feel like if they could, because they obviously couldn't afford a Beatles song. In my head, it would have made sense if that was a
Mm.
Beatles song,
Yes,
but they can't afford it. I get it.
maybe twist and shout because
Either way,
there's always a twist at the end.
like and I'm like, okay, cool. For me, I would have had it be they had the whole like it's always a twist in the end, and they would have ended it like like half the song, a minute and a half,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A minute and a half, and then you have the bit with Ruby and the Doctor kind of on the piano on the outside in the rain,
Mm.
and then have Ruby say, "How do we do that?" And then have the Doctor say one line like, "The Maestro's power lingered, and allowed us to have a little bit of fun." But let's go. And they go back into the TARDIS, right? And that's it. That's where you end the episode.
Yeah,
That's what I would have had.
yeah.
But
Mm.
that
So
someone went on too long.
yeah, the bit where it kind of comes to an end and then it cuts to the Beatles, like and it kind of continues with them. It should have just stopped before they showed the Beatles.
I would have had it just be like it starts off with the Beatles like getting ready to do a song. I was like,
Yeah,
we're gonna hear a
yeah.
Beatles song, and then they start doing "It's Always a Twist" in the end. Like they start playing it, and then you go to like Shooty's Doctor and the mic, and then everyone dancing, having fun.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I would have directed it because it would have made it seem like
Mm.
the Beatles song, like this random song that's only existing in the Doctor universe,
Yeah.
brought back music to the world.
Mm.
That's how I would have done it. And then so on and so forth. But it is what it is. But that's the Devil's Court.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start because you started the last one. I like the Devil's Court quite a bit, obviously for different reasons. One, I am a queer male, so I kind of gravitate towards this kind of energy a bit more than Crystal probably would. So there's that, and then the other one being the fact I really like Jinx Monsoon's performance. I like the energy and the campiness. That's what I've always liked about Doctor Who when it gets so campy at scale. Like it reminds me of like the Master playing fucking rogue traders while the end of the world's happening. He's like, I will survive. I can't decide whether you should live or die. And I'm like, what the hell is all like, here come the jumps, here come the jumps.
Yeah.
Baby, baby,
Baby,
baby. Like, what is like it's
you
just
are my beauty gem.
like it's just dumb campiness, but it's weird and crazy energy. And it was the same with it was the same with the Toymaker having la 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 as he's murdering people in unit. It's like, what's going on here? Like that's the energy I like from Doctor Who. So the Maestro brought that kind of energy for me. Like obviously didn't have musical performances like that. But it was a personal music and like using the non-diegetic music and the fourth wall breaking. I loved that.
Yeah.
I think Ruby and the Doctor is my favorite TARDIS duo.
Okay.
Already. And we've had 3 episodes with them because they're
Would you say Shooty is your favorite Doctor?
No. My favorite Doctor is still Peter Capaldi.
Yep.
Because I've had a long time with Peter Capaldi. And Peter Capaldi is just he showed the Doctor's regalness in a way that just felt like the best teacher of all time.
Yeah.
Now Shooty feels like the best mate of all time.
Yeah.
And I need some moments of Shooty just being a little bit more mature of a Doctor. So he and I think that's going to be Boom. And he takes it very seriously. It's like, like we got a hint of it when he was running from Maestro. It was like scared, being serious right now. We gotta hide. Like there was an element of that, but I need it. Or like Matt Smith during Rings of Akaten, you know, where he's like prepared to just give his life to save this colony. He's like, I'm gonna lose all my memories. I don't care. Like Matt Smith had a bunch of them. There was that. There was the Pandorica opens.
Yeah, Pandorica.
There was that. There was
Henge.
also A Good Man Goes to War.
Yeah.
There was that, like the like Colonel Runaway. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the house of Colonel Runaway.
I want people screaming at your door, laughing. This is the house of Colonel Runaway. And when you come, the people who I care about, who remember about it to me, I want them to know. That shit was war. There's that. Like obviously the sit down and talk like with Capaldi, with Kate and the Zygon. Like there's that. Multiple things. I need Shooty to have a moment like that. And I think Boom's gonna give him like a similar Rings of Akaten type moment where he's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for you guys, this planet, for Ruby, because I'm the Doctor and I'm the healer of the universe.
Do you think that will be the whole episode, like with Heaven Sent?
Yes. I think the whole episode will be Shooty's Doctor can't
just 1 hour long Doctor moment.
I think the episode is going to be focused on the Doctor and Ruby a lot, but it's really going to be that the Doctor can't do anything because he's stuck on this landmine. Yeah. And he's going to be that kind of teacher figure for Ruby. And Ruby may disagree with him in some points, may agree with him, but eventually in the end, either Ruby's going to feel like Ruby's going to go her own way and fail, causing the Doctor to die, and she's going to regret that. Or she finally agrees with the Doctor, and the Doctor has that moment where because you've seen it in the trailer where the Doctor's like he's like he can burn everything to ash. He's got that real serious moment. I feel that's gonna be that moment where the Doctor's like, I'm the guy here. And I need Shooty to have that moment. Because right now it's hard. I think Shooty right now, just with these episodes, in the same level that I have with Matt Smith as a Doctor. Because my Doctors go Capaldi of New Who. It goes Capaldi, Tennant, Matt and Shooty, Eccleston, Jodie.
Really?
That's what it does for me.
Really? I'm not too sure, but I know for certain that my top two are Peter and Chris. So Peter, my favourite.
But like Shooty, and obviously it's just a big up, but I love Shooty's Doctor. I love his energy. And as I said before earlier on, he had Doctor Who feels modern. It feels like a Gen Z Doctor Who show.
Yeah.
Which like the humor seems like my humor, other than Space Babies. I didn't like that.
No.
But the humor that's in this episode with the 4/4 breaking, just just the outright like. My favorite line is honestly Maestro's line being like, "Oh, she has music in her heart. Oh, music from love strong lesbians." It's like. It's just so funny the way it was said. I'm like, oh my god! Like, I think that's the first time Doctor Who has ever referenced lesbians, like the word lesbians.
No, the Madame Vastra and
No, but they
Jenny,
never. They said they're partners, but they never said we're lesbians.
No. It's like I'm a lesbian lizard for the dawn of time, and this is my wife.
I don't think they said lesbian. I think they just said I'm a lesbian from the dawn of time.
Oh, maybe okay.
I think this is the first time they said the word lesbian, but it is what it is. I very much like this episode, but I feel Maestro was defeated way too. I feel like the first half of the episode was way too slow, and then the last half of the episode was way too fast. I would have started it out being like, I don't know, Ruby and the Doctor, Ruby's outside one of the doors in the TARDIS, right? The Doctor's in the wardrobe. And Ruby's like, Doctor, I want to go see the Beatles, right? And the Doctor's like, want to do what? And she's like, I want to go see the Beatles record. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. I think that's a bad idea. And Ruby starts going, oh, he thinks it's a bad idea. He's going to hate me. and then you see the Doctor coming out in his outfit. Like, I think that's a great idea. Like, I think that would be a really cool start to cut down that beginning bit.
Yeah.
And then we go right into them with their outfit, like them going to see the Abbey Road Studios,
Yeah,
EMI
they're already
Studios,
out the TARDIS, yeah.
doing all of that, and then we have, I don't think we need to see everyone else. I don't think we needed Cilla Black. I don't think we needed the orchestra. I think we just need to see the Beatles song being bad, and then we go straight into the like,
and
something's wrong.
Yeah.
No one's humming, no one's singing, no one's tapping their foot, and then we go into that bit, and then they talk to the Beatles, right? Everything going the way it was normally up until the point where Jinx or the Marshal comes out the piano and chases after them. They'll have that bit, and then the Doctor's like, the Doctor just knows that the Doctor, instead of the Doctor being fearing of Maestro and having the same powers of the Toymaker, the Doctor trying to bring back music and then bringing the Beatles back into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you can even go to the line of like, which one of the Beatles was like got murdered because they said they're greater than Jesus?
John Lennon, I think.
You can have John.
Yeah, John Lennon.
You can talk to John about music and reference that in a sense, you know. Reference that like
I mean, you perhaps even give an explanation to why he said it. And then that could come back to the idea that his music could defeat a god, you know. Yeah.
So then, so
like he's equating a god in the sense of the pantheon of Discord with, you know, like the Christian god.
His music being better than Jesus. That's what, and that could be like a Doctor Who reasons to why he said that. Because his music defeated a fucking god. So of course he's gonna think that, you know. So that's what I would have that be, and then it comes to the final showdown. Instead of it being like just Ruby being captured by Maestro, it'll be Ruby and the Beatles being captured by Maestro.
Yeah.
And then it's Ruby, the Beatles, and the Doctor all fighting Maestro in that final music battle. The Doctor trying to get the chords, getting it wrong, being dragged away. But then John and Paul, as they're watching this happening, they're like, I remember this song. I remember which one it is. Boom. Playing it. And they save the day like they did before. But them being more active in the story, knowing that they saved the day. You know?
Yeah.
Knowing that their music is powerful. That's what I would do. And then, and then that can also.
And I try and find a way to include more Beatles music, like actual Beatles music. So not just like at the end, like one of them.
That's if they could afford it, but they can't.
Exactly. Well, it's Disney money though.
Well, Disney doesn't know if Doctor Who's super successful. If it was Marvel, they would give them the money. But like, they obviously have to see the next 2 years how well Doctor Who does, and if they do really well, obviously Disney's gonna go, okay, we're gonna give you even more money to make more of this. Because I think that's how capitalism works. Hate on capitalism.
Yeah. Just kill Disney.
But then I would have that, and then you can lead into the final music performance because the Beatles knows that their music is powerful and save the world, and then they will play There's Always a Twist at the end, and that brings everyone in, brings everyone back as everyone starts returning from being taken back from the Maestro. You see people popping back, and they have music in their heart, and it's like the world is dancing, the world is celebrating. That's how I would end it. I'd make all of those things link back to the Beatles' power of music and then the Beatles' ability to destroy a god. That's what I would do. And then that would hamper down the importance of music in human society. That's what I would do. And the fact they didn't do that, I just kind of felt like it was a bit rushed. Like, I feel like if they should have been like another draft or two, the script.
Yeah.
So for me, this episode gets 7 out of 10. What did you think, Chris?
See, I'm still not too sure because it was really fun, but at the same time, like, the ending really did it for me. It was like, oh, you know, this song, it doesn't, like, it makes sense narratively, but it doesn't fit with the rest of the episode in terms of tone. And And another thing that I think will become more apparent as the series goes on, as this season goes on, is that compared to the Space Babies, I don't. It doesn't feel like it's the same season. Like, before you could always like point out, oh yeah, that episode is from that series because I can see the kind of the look of that series is so clear as I look at this one picture of this episode. But with this
Like series
season,
5.
yeah, like series 5, yeah, like you can always tell which series, like you can always tell like an episode is from series 5 just by looking
Mm-hmm.
at a picture. But like this time, it's like there's no real correlation, um, and because this is episode 2, I'm bringing it up here because this should have felt more connected with episode 1. Um,
And I think that's coming down to the less episodes to have those kind of linking, and
yeah,
the fact
yeah,
that we only get one two-parter and that's the end.
mm,
Because that's one of the other things I'm starting to think is this series needed another two-parter in my sense. I feel like halfway through
yeah,
I feel like there should be a two-part. I feel like episode 3 and 4. If I was doing an episode 1, 2 solo episode,
mm,
3, 4 two-parter, 5, 6 solo episodes, 7, 8 two-parter.
mm.
That's what I would do.
Well, for me, I was expecting Russell to do a 13 episode series, but I was hoping he would do a split series, and it would be you got episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, um, as solo episodes, then 6 and 7 as a two-parter, then episode 8 is like the kind of pre-finale, and then the second half of the series is like a 5-part finale because he's used to writing like 6-part dramas at this point. So like that could have been.
But he also doesn't want. He also doesn't want to like Doctor Who to have like a split. He wants it to be regularly, like same time every year.
Yeah, well, he can just make it all at once. He just has to split the broadcast. Yeah. Anyway, um, but yeah, that's what I expected, like something more like that. But I agree, like another two-parter, just like a mid two-parter, um, would have been really good for this series. Well, we'll have to see when it ends, Um, but yeah, I kind of expected more connections, like more like you can kind of see you can kind of see the similarities between the episodes, and also, um, yeah, that song at the end really kind of ruined it for me. It was like, oh, this is going
It's.
on for so long.
I think it really comes down to the time skip and the fact that it's very much a
Yeah,
throwaway line that explains a time skip, and there even is
mm,
a time skip because
yeah,
it goes from them being we just know each other to now being we traveled for half a year.
yeah,
So the relationship has changed, and we don't see the relationship change, which is why it feels so disconnected.
mm,
Because
mm.
if you take series
Well,
1,
Series 3 has a similar problem, but the other way around. So in Series 1, it takes until 42 for Martha to get herself a TARDIS key, and then after that, it just zooms to the end. It's like, oh, a year's gone by and they've been traveling together.
I feel like it should have taken a bit more of a series 1 approach, where it's like first
Yeah,
we show you the future, then we show
mm,
you the past,
yeah,
and then now you prove yourself huge to TARDIS key, and then you can have a time skip.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I think we didn't see that gradual relationship grow as much as we're used to in Doctor Who.
yeah, yeah,
Because it just feels like Ruby outright trusts the Doctor, and
mm,
there's no drama between them. And I think Boom might add some drama to them, which is what I
yeah,
hope.
mm,
So we can start seeing
yeah,
because it feels like the Doctor is the Doctor, and then Ruby's Doctor Light.
yeah,
Well, I need Ruby to have her own cat because she just seems like her best buddy. Like they go around everything. I need Ruby to have her
mm,
own kind of feeling about situations, kind of like the Doctor and Donna. The Doctor had his
mm,
own opinion on, like they agreed on stuff like the Ood and stuff like that, and how the era
yeah.
kept. But then when it came to the files of Pompeii and stuff like that, Donna
They
was like,
disagreed heavily.
Doctor's like, we got to get out, and Donna's like, no, we got to save people.
Mm,
You save people. That's what we do. And she
mm,
convinced the Doctor to save, well, Ichabod and Ichabod's character's family.
yeah.
Well, now we know.
And that family line.
Yeah, but that's the whole. But
that
we do know
family-
that's the whole reason why he chose that face, because
Yes,
to remind
and
himself to
then
save
that-
people.
And then Torchwood like fixes the fact that that family line exists, but it shouldn't exist.
Yeah, because that's Peter Capaldi's character
Yeah.
Torchwood is descendant of that line.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh
like,
my goodness.
so like,
I love how that all ties together.
like they should be. There needs to be something that allows it, like there's some drama between the companion and the Doctor. I don't say they should hate each other, and I think that's the issue that I had with the Jodie era with their companions. They just agreed with everything the Doctor said.
Yeah.
Even when fucking the Doctor said, "I don't want to help you with your cancer, Graham."
He's like, oh, okay, I'll leave it then.
Like, if I'm writing this, I'd have Graham go, "What the fuck do you mean? I came to you trusting you that I did the fact that I'm dealing with cancer and I'm scared it's coming back." Like, you're this alien from who can control time. You can probably find a cure for me. Help me here. What the fuck are you doing?
But also Yaz as well. Like Yaz and the Doctor decide that they want to be a couple, and so they agree to get, like, Yaz agrees with the Doctor that they
Not even
that
that.
they have feelings for each other.
Yaz wants to be with the Doctor, but the Doctor's like, "Sorry, I'm married to fucking River Song."
Yeah, but otherwise, yes, please.
Like, she was like, "If I'm not married to River Song, maybe, but sorry, I'm married, so no."
It's like, oh, okay, then that means we won't have a relationship, and Yaz just agrees to that.
Like, it's like if like the one thing I do like about the companionness is that, and it's the issue that we had in the Chibnall era, is that the companions have a characterization that they never use. Yaz is a fucking police officer, never uses her police officerness. Ryan is I think is a mechanic, but also with dyspraxia.
Yeah,
never uses that, other than his dyspraxia being a joke for whenever he fails something.
Yeah, whether he trips over.
But then Ruby is like a music student, a piano player. She's in a band, and her music is used in this episode. Her musicality is important in this episode. So like, I like that. But that's why I gave mine.
But does she have transferable skills?
You sound like a fucking interviewer. Sorry, you went to music college, but do you have any transferable skills to work in Tesco right now?
Yeah, it's like, well,
no.
Though I did meet the Beatles once.
Get out of here, you lie. You're 16. You're 19. What are you? Met the Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, what would you give the number for this episode?
Probably a 6.
Oh, we're back to formula. Chris giving it lower than I did. Oh,
yeah,
back to formula.
Yeah.
So overall, out of 10, we have given Space Babies a
1.5.
So it's 4, 9. So we give it 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And with Devil's Cord, we've given it 6.5 out of 10. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, next week, guys, is Boom, which is written by none other than former showrunner of Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat. Now, we love Stephen Moffat, especially when he's writing underneath Russell T Davies.
Yes.
So we are very excited to see what is happening. And hopefully we have reactions from that, so you can see us react live to it. But also we will still also be doing this.
Yeah.
But yes, that's next week. It is simply going to be boom. Fantastic. You remember that time the doctor, the 12th Doctor's like walking the TARDIS and he pulls out a leaf and goes, He's gonna be like that. So yes, thank you all for listening to the Doctor Why podcast. Obviously we are on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you can get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube on our Doctor Why YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you later. As always, say bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
I really, really hope you fall like Ryan Sinclair. Well,